Alright guys, Season 5 of The Flash has come and gone, which of course means it's time for another round of asking, how fast is this guy again? I mean, even though Barry didn't exactly show off his speed in style like he did last season, we did see the Scarlet Speedster pulling off some pretty impressive feats, including racing Weather Witch's lightning, outrunning a decent number of explosives, and even catching up to a falling plane before phasing it through Central City. Although to be fair, he did need some help for that last one. Hell, he even managed to generate almost 3 billion joules of energy while casually kicking the shit out of Cicada in the 11th episode, titled Seeing Red.
He's channeling over 2.86 billion joules of energy.
Wait a minute, didn't Jesse say a speedster's lightning bolt generates about 1 billion joules each when they were trying to disarm that nuke last season?
That's 3 billion joules. Each lightning bolt gives off roughly 1 billion joules.
If Barry could just pop off about 3 billion joules on his own, then why couldn't he have just taken out the bomb? Lack of pep talks, I guess. Seriously though, after watching through this latest season of the show, the question remains, how fast did Barry manage to run throughout Season 5? Well, let's take a look and find out. Right after a quick word from this video sponsor, Manscaped. Hello heroes! Are you tired of feeling like your junk's been swayed over to the negative speed force for a bit too long? Maybe you've been having a tough time running at super speeds lately and think trimming a bit might help you finally hit that Mach 50 speed that definitely doesn't exist. If so, then Manscaped is the answer for you. Manscaped, the only men's brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene, features trimming technology so advanced you'd swear Star Labs themselves designed it. Yes sir, your little civilians will definitely thank you when you save them with the Perfect Package 2.0 kit, featuring the Lawnmower 2.0, a waterproof manscaping trimmer with a replaceable ceramic head that uses skin-safe technology, preventing nicks and snags. And for you speedsters on the go, don't forget to check out the Crop Preserver, a 24-hour moisturizing deodorant that is residue-free and features active pH control. With all that running around in one of those leather suits, you better believe this stuff's a must in any speedster's travel kit. All heroes get 20% off, plus free shipping, and a free gift, the Shed Travel Bag, when you use promo code CBVW20 at manscaped.com. That's CBVW20 at manscaped.com. Manscaped.com, fighting the best fight for you! Anyways, like always, we need a good base feat to kick things off, and we get a pretty decent one during the season's 19th episode, titled Snowpack. After watching Caitlin as Killer Frost take off to fight her father's icy persona, we see Barry utilizing the power of pep talks to phase through a tube and snatch up Caitlin's mother in an attempt to keep her from getting ice powers of her own, all in 0.3 of a second. Sounds impressive, but how fast is that? Well, using actress Danielle Panabaker as a scale, we can use this wide shot of the room and the shots of where Barry starts and stops to guesstimate the total distance he ran. Considering how Danielle Panabaker is 1.68 meters tall, then it seems like Barry ran a low ball distance of about 3.5 Panabakers, which equals out to about 5.88 meters, or about 19 feet. So assuming I'm right about the distance, then plugging our distance and the previously mentioned time frame into our typical speed formula and doing the math on that, tells us that Barry managed to run at a whopping speed of about 44 miles an hour, or about 71 kilometers an hour. For comparison, Usain Bolt, the real-life fastest man alive, managed to reach a world record speed of 27.8 miles an hour during a 100-meter sprint in Berlin back in 2009. This would mean that Barry, while saving Caitlin's mom, managed to run a little over 1.5 times faster than the real-life fastest man alive. That's cool, right? Skipping forward a bit towards the end of the season, during the Girl with the Red Lightning episode, we see Barry outrunning a bomb left behind by Cicada 2 after she stole some tech of the week to help her kill off a bunch of metahumans. Real quick before I get into this one, I'm not going to calculate the overall distance Barry ran, since we never actually see for sure how far it is from the lab he runs from to the outside of the warehouse where he stops. So instead, we're just going to estimate his speed based on how long it takes him to run to that door over there. Seems reasonable enough anyway. Either way, using Grant Gustin as a ruler, we can estimate that the overall distance Barry ran in this scene was about 2 grants long, or about 3 meters, or about 9.8 feet. Now obviously, we never actually get a full wide shot like with the feet in the Snowpack episode, and considering how the scene's shot, plus the fact that Grant's not actually fully standing up, it's definitely more likely that Barry ran an even greater distance, but since we can't measure that out for sure, I'm just going to estimate on the low end for now. Anywho, counting from when he starts running to when he reaches the door, it seems like Barry ran for about 24 seconds, putting his speed in this scene at about 0.125 meters per second. But don't forget, we actually see this run from Barry's slowed down point of view. So how fast was he actually running? Well, we can figure that out by using the explosive stuff he's actually running from, which, according to this shot, just so happens to be a big ol' hunk of C4. Now C4 has a pretty quick explosive velocity, measuring out to about 26,400 feet per second, or 8,050 meters per second. So using our low-end total distance of about 3 meters and doing some simple math, we can see that Barry would have only had about 373 microseconds to escape the blast. Dividing Barry's runtime in this scene by the real-world amount of time he would have had to escape gives us a multiplier of about 64,343. After factoring in our multiplier with our estimate of Barry's speed, we can see that Barry, in escaping a C4 explosion, managed to run at a speed of about 17,992 miles an hour, or about 28,955 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 23. That's about 4 times faster than the 4,520 mile an hour speed reached by the North American X-15 back in 1967, which, fun fact, actually set a world record for the fastest man-powered aircraft flight, which still hasn't been broken as of the time I'm recording this video. The more you know. Now that's definitely pretty fast, but by jumping back towards the beginning of the season, during the Newsflash episode, we can see an even faster feat from Barry, when he ran from Central City to Las Vegas while under the effects of Spencer Young's news update, leaving Nora behind to put out a fire all by herself. Of course, Iris is the one to talk Nora through putting out the fire, even though she sucked at it and couldn't do it last season. But, somebody's gotta talk a speedster through using their powers, right? I mean, what do you think this is, a show where speedsters actually get to do things on their own? Please. Anywho, let's put some numbers on this run. As far as the distance goes, most of you guys should remember that we saw in a letter back in Season 1 that the Arrowverse version of Central City is located somewhere in Missouri, with the distance between Missouri and Las Vegas being somewhere around 1,505.8 miles, or about 2,423 kilometers. And counting from when Barry sees Spencer's news update and starts running to when he manages to shake her influence and stops, we can see that Barry ran for exactly 76 seconds. Doing some simple math tells us that, in running to Las Vegas, Barry managed to run at a speed of about 71,327 miles an hour, or about 114,789 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 92. That's about twice as fast as the 36,400 mile an hour escape velocity reached by the New Horizons probe. Damn! Of course, going back to the Girl with the Red Lightning episode, we get an even better feat after Nora decides to link up with Future Grace's mind, leading to Barry dodging the red lightning she starts throwing off. Now this one definitely seems pretty hard to figure out, but if we can figure out the distance the lightning traveled by the time Barry starts running, then divide that by the speed of lightning, that should give us the real world time frame it would have taken for the lightning to move that distance. Then we can take the distance Barry ran and divide it by the time frame the lightning moved, giving us his running speed in this shot. Now as far as how far Nora's lightning managed to move, it looks to me like it managed to cover the length of Iris's head. We can see in this shot that the lightning seems to be hovering around chin level, and by the time Barry managed to reach Nora, the lightning looks like it moved to around the top of Iris's head. And considering how the average human head is about 9 inches long, then that would mean Nora's lightning managed to cover a distance of 0.75 feet, or about 0.23 meters. And if we divide that distance by the speed of lightning, about 320,000 feet per second, then that means Barry would have only had 0.234375 microseconds to reach Nora. And if we lowball it and assume that the distance from the doorway to Nora's position is only about 2 meters or so, or about 6 feet, which I'd assume is roughly close to accurate considering how we've seen people popping in and out of that lab for a while now and nobody ever seemed like they were going on a hike to reach Cisco, then that would mean Barry, while reaching Nora in about 2 microseconds, managed to run at a speed of about 1,908,851 miles an hour, or about 3,071,997 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 2,488. And keep in mind, that's just while he's dodging and weaving around. Imagine how fast he could go if he didn't have a bunch of shit in the way.
How do we slow down time, Barry?
If Supergirl and I travel around the globe in opposite directions at just over Mach 7, we should be able to create enough centrifugal force to slow the Earth's rotation.
And everything else.
F***ing hell, this bullshit again. So yeah, if you remember around the end of the Elseworlds crossover, there was a point where we saw Barry and Kara trying to slow down Dr. Destiny and save the universe by running/flying around the Earth multiple times at high speeds. No, it's not Mach 7 like Barry says. Anybody with eyes could see that he and Kara were clearly moving way faster than that. How much faster exactly? Well, basically, counting the loops Barry made, then dividing the number of loops by the amount of time it took Barry to race around the world, then multiplying that number by the speed you'd have to go to get around the world once in a single second, we can see that Barry was running at a speed of 416,409,685 miles an hour, or 670,146,428 kilometers an hour, or Mach 542,716. That's about 62% the speed of light. Holy shit. Now, obviously that's not the most in-depth answer ever, but that's because I actually did a video on this feat a while back. So if you feel like double checking my math, you can feel free to check that one out via the links on screen and in the description. Now that is pretty fast, but believe it or not, that's still not Barry's fastest showing this season. We might have actually seen Barry at his fastest in the very first episode of Season 5, titled Nora, where he caught a bunch of security guards just after running to the scene to fight Gridlock. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it definitely looks like everything's frozen while Barry's running around, and you guys know what that means. That's right, more light speed.
But if you ever hit the speed of light, then time stops.
This would put Barry's speed at about 670,616,629 miles an hour, or about 1,079,252,848 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 874,030. Of course, that's still next to nothing compared to a character who managed to run many times faster than light just last season, but still, impressive. That having been said though, I could be dead wrong about everything being frozen and just miss these guys moving like a millimeter or something, so I'm sure somebody's gonna correct me in the comments. Either way, I think we can all agree that Barry definitely wasn't moving anywhere near top speed like he did last season. It's a shame too. I mean, after an entire episode from his point of view, while stopping a bomb, I was kinda hoping we'd get more scenes, or even more episodes, of Barry just cutting loose and showing off some classic Flash level action. Oh well. Hopefully now that we got a new showrunner taking the reins, we'll actually get to see Barry show off that fastest man alive title a little bit more in the future. But anyways guys, that's how fast we saw Barry running in Season 5 of The Flash. If you guys agreed with anything I said in this video, or if you have your own calculations you want to throw out there, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, then go ahead and click that like button, and if you're new, maybe consider clicking that subscribe button too. I've also got links to my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon in the description. You should probably check those out too. And if you want to see more of my content, then you can click the link to my last video. It's right there in the middle of your screen. Alright, and I will see you all next time.